In 1900, the Balkans are the powder keg of Europe, a tangle of small, proud nations clawing their way free of a dying Ottoman Empire, each one measuring its future in rifles, cannon, and men under arms. There is no Yugoslavia yet, no NATO, no European Union, only Serbia, Greece, Romania, Bulgaria, and little Montenegro, watching one another across contested mountains, every border a wound waiting to reopen. Their budgets are tiny beside the great powers of the West, but here, more than anywhere on the continent, almost every coin a state can spare goes to the same place, the army. Because in this corner of Europe, a nation that cannot defend itself simply does not survive. And through the first decade of the century, one country arms faster than all the rest, Bulgaria, forging the most formidable military in the region, determined to inherit the Ottoman lands when they finally fall. In 1912, it erupts. The Balkan League, Bulgaria, Serbia, Greece, and Montenegro falls upon the Ottomans together and, in a few furious months, drives them almost out of Europe entirely. Then, the victory won. The Allies turn on each other over the spoils, and in 1913, Bulgaria fights its own former partners in the Second Balkan War and loses everything it had gained. Military spending across the region spikes to heights no one had imagined a decade before, and it is only the rehearsal. In 1914, a Serbian bullet in Sarajevo lights the fuse of the First World War, and the Balkans become its bloodiest ground. Serbia is overrun and loses a staggering share of its population. Romania enters in 1916 and mobilizes on a colossal scale. Greece is dragged in behind them. For 4 years, the war economies push military spending to the ceiling, and then the map itself is torn up and redrawn. Out of the wreckage, in 1918, a new giant is stitched together, the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes, soon to be renamed Yugoslavia, binding the South Slavs into a single state built around Serbia. Romania nearly doubles in size, becoming Greater Romania, and raises a large standing army to hold its new borders. Through the 1920s and 30s, the region settles into an uneasy, watchful peace, its powers trading the lead in spending, Greece chasing its ambitions across the Aegean, then Romania, its treasury swollen by oil and territory, climbing to the very top of the table. In 1934, they even tried to guarantee their own frontiers with a Balkan Pact, a fragile promise to stand together, signed the very year a Yugoslav king is gunned down on a state visit to France, a reminder of how thin the peace really is. But to the north, Germany is rising again, and none of the old fault lines have truly healed. And in 1939, the storm returns. Romania, sitting atop the oil that every war machine craves, arms heavily and is pulled into the Axis. Yugoslavia is invaded and dismembered in the spring of 1941. Greece is occupied after a bitter, humiliating fight against the Italians and then the Germans. What follows is catastrophe: occupation, famine, massacre, and a partisan war in the Yugoslav mountains so vast that by 1943, Tito's fighters have become an army in their own right, and the Serbia and Yugoslavia line climbs back to the top of the chart amid the ruin. Wartime spending reaches peaks that will stand for half a century. By 1945, the region is shattered and millions are dead, and a new order descends on it, colder than the last. The Cold War cuts the Balkans cleanly into pieces. Greece, after a savage civil war between communists and royalists, falls into the Western camp and joins NATO in 1952. Bulgaria and Romania are pulled behind the Iron Curtain into the Soviet-led Warsaw Pact. Albania seals itself off entirely under Enver Hoxha, a hermit state so terrified of invasion that it pours its meager wealth into building hundreds of thousands of concrete bunkers across its hillsides, one for every few citizens. And in the very middle sits the strangest power of all, Yugoslavia. In 1948, Tito breaks with Stalin and, belonging to neither bloc, courted and threatened by both at once, Yugoslavia arms itself to the teeth. Its doctrine of total national defense turns the entire population into a standing reserve, a whole nation trained and equipped to fight a guerrilla war against any invader from either direction. The Yugoslav People's Army becomes a state within the state, with its own factories, its own arms industry, exporting weapons across the developing world. And for 4 straight decades, the Yugoslav military towers over the region, the largest, the most independent, the most feared force in the Balkans. Around it, the others spend and spend. Greece and its old rival across the water slide into a bitter, ruinous arms race after the Cyprus crisis of 1974, driving Greek military spending to among the very highest as a share of the economy in all of NATO. Ceausescu's Romania charts a defiant, independent line inside the Warsaw Pact, refusing to bend fully to Moscow. Bulgaria stays the loyal Soviet client on the Black Sea, its army wired directly into the Red Army's plans. Albania, having quarreled first with the Soviets and then even with its last friend in China, is left utterly alone, spending itself into poverty to guard a country almost no one intends to attack. But year after year after year, at the top of the table, the same name holds fast: Yugoslavia. And then, at the dawn of the 1990s, it detonates. The great Yugoslav bar that has led the region for 40 years does not slowly decline. It shatters. Slovenia and Croatia break away first, then Bosnia, and the wars of the Yugoslav succession tear the country apart across the decade, each fragment pouring everything it can raise into weapons for its own survival. In 1999, NATO warplanes bomb what remains of Serbia over Kosovo. When the smoke finally clears, the single giant is simply gone, replaced by a scatter of small new states: Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Macedonia, and a shrunken, isolated Serbia, each one now starting its own thin column on the chart from almost nothing. And into the vast space the giant left behind, a new leader rises, an old one, in truth. Greece, never part of Yugoslavia, never broken apart, now stands alone at the top. Locked in its endless standoff with Turkey across the Aegean, it spends year after year at a level that shames nations many times its size, carrying one of the heaviest military burdens in the entire Western world, and carrying it even as its economy collapses under the debt crisis of the 2000s. One by one, the others turn west and take shelter under the same shield: Slovenia, Bulgaria, and Romania into NATO in 2004, Croatia and Albania soon after, Montenegro and North Macedonia later still, until nearly the whole peninsula wears the same uniform. Only Serbia holds apart, militarily neutral, nursing the memory of 1999, quietly buying its jets and tanks from Russia and China instead. But at the top of the table, through boom and crash and austerity alike, Greece holds the crown, until the ground shifts one final time. In 2022, full-scale war returns to Europe as Russia invades Ukraine, and Romania, sharing a long border with the fighting, throws open its treasury. It orders F-16s and then F-35 35s, drives its spending past 2% of its economy and climbing, and rearms faster than any nation in the region has in living memory, the new anchor of NATO's eastern flank. And around 2024, Romania overtakes Greece and seizes the top of the table for the first time in 100 years. So in 2026, the crown rests not with the Yugoslav colossus that ruled the Cold War, nor with the Greece that inherited the peace, but with Romania, some $9 billion a year, with Greece close behind, and Bulgaria, Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia, and the smaller states arrayed beneath. A single century has carried the Balkans from the powder keg of one age of empires to the front line of another, measured, in the end, by the only number that ever truly counted. Not the speeches, not the flags, not the old grievances, but how much each nation was willing to pay to defend itself.